What's going on? It's your boy Sermon, the sermonsdomain.com. Drake and Future's mixtape turned out to be real, after a bunch of rumors surfaced. We finally got it. It's called What a Time to Be Alive. It was premiered last night on OVO Radio. And, Drake mentioned a couple things that was interesting. First off, he mentioned that Ernest Baker, who is a very creative writer that is, friends with Drake, came up with the title for What a Time to Be Alive by when Drake told him that he was doing a project with Future. That's what his response was, and that's what the title became. I thought that was cool. And another thing Drake said on the show was that the project was done in 6 days. So, it wasn't like they put a ton of thought into it. With that said, let me get into the project itself. This is basically a Future project with Drake included for the most part. I feel like, Drake didn't even try to bring Future into his world. It was essentially just, Future and Metro Boomin, and the other select producers that were a part of the project, And I'm not saying that in a bad way, It's clear that this is a Future project with Drake included, but that's not a bad thing because Drake fits in seamlessly on a lot of these records, man. Like Plastic Bag and it sounds good. And there's a lot of shots on the album. Everybody from Meek Mill to Chris Brown to the goat. He even talks about the ghostwriting situation. It's interesting, like, Drake views himself as, like, the top dog, and, like, now he's able to throw these shots that they're still subliminal, but you know who they're aimed at. I mean, he even name-dropped Chris Brown's ex. I believe her name is Karuchi. It's a hard name to pronounce. He name-dropped her, and Future even through what a lot of people are thinking is a shot at Meek Mill when he said, "You a battle rapper, I'm an official trapper." And he said that on, what song did he say that on? On Big Rings. And I don't know. I mean, obviously it sounds like a shot because who else is a battle rapper, has that battle rapper background, but it's also kind of interesting that, Meek Mill's been championing Future for so long, and I believe, Future's response is basically because that the Made in America festival, when Meek Mill said that he wanted his DJ to stop playing Future, but I don't, obviously he didn't mean it in a negative way, but it's been perceived like that, and obviously that's how Future took it. So he threw that line in. I like the production is really good. Metro Boomin is always on point with everything that he does. It's interesting, like, he got snubbed for, BET, their awards, their hip-hop awards, a nomination for Producer of the Year. Like, how do you exclude Metro Boomin? He's been everywhere. Especially, the Future stuff is red hot. And then, this right here is another reason why he deserves, Producer of the Year. So, there's that. One thing that I noted was that Young Thug had the Live from the Gutter beat earlier this year. A record called I Mean from Young Thug leaked, and it's the same beat. And I don't know, I just thought that was cool because one of my dudes, Dennis, was like, "I've heard this beat before," and I was like, "I never heard this one because there's so many Young Thug leaks." So he found the record and he was like, "Yeah, it's the same record." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Your absence is very concerning. It's like you went on vacation with no intention of returning. That is one of the many lines that Drake drops on his 30 for 30 freestyle. And the 30 for 30 freestyle is the one record out of the whole bunch that doesn't fit into the project because it's Drake, it's kind of like a a time in a location type of record, like Drake does, the 9 a.m.s in Dallas, those type of records. And that's what 30 for 30 is, pretty much. It's one of those honest records. Drake, talks more about the ghostwriting situation. He drops more subliminals at Meek Mill. He talks about higher-ups wanting to, stop his career. It's everything that, the other side of Drake that people love. You got the club side, runs rampant throughout the entire project, but then you have this side, and I think it was one of the standouts for me, just because I connect with that kind of Drake more. Um, Overall, man, I think people are gonna look too hard into this project because it was made in 6 days. It was something fun. It's a fun project. It's gonna be everywhere for the rest of the year, and even further than that, you're gonna hear these songs on the radio. You're gonna hear them in the strip club, and if you don't hear them in the strip club, you need to leave that strip club because that strip club is not up to date. You'll hear it in the clubs. You'll see the lines referenced on Twitter a lot. That's what Drake Projects does, and Future's in that same bracket now. And the two came together for something fun, something simple. Don't compare this to Watch the Throne because they didn't go in depth like that. It's not that serious. It's a fun project. If you don't like it, that's fine. But don't try to compare it or bash it and all that stuff. One of the interesting things that I was trying to figure out is, could this be Drake's last contractual album under Cash Money? Even though it's billed as a mixtape, it's still a retail release, which would still technically count towards his contract. And I believe everybody was saying he had one more left. And this is Cash Money Epic Records, but the reports say that this information or this deal came together last minute. So I don't know if it's a new deal that they struck to do, or if it counts towards Drake being under Cash Money, being off Cash Money now, and Views from the Six could be his first independent release. It seems like that's the route he wanted to go all along. Obviously, he didn't want to release another real album under Cash Money, but these two mixtapes we got this year kind of served to his contract, still making Birdman a lot of money, and then boom, he's gone. And free to do whatever he wants to do. It seems like that was always Drake's intention, and I guess we'll find out if that happens. My last thought, man, it's crazy to think that Future and Drake aren't done releasing music this year. Future, still has Ape Shit with Mike Will Made It, Beast Mode 2 with Zaytoven, and an album. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna get those three projects. We'll probably get the album more. It feels like Epic is more focused on album material than free mixtapes, so I don't envision getting those two mixtapes. But it's crazy to think that Future is gonna have put out basically 6 projects. I know Monster came out in October, but Monster really got more popular this year than it did when it was first released, so I'm gonna kind of count it, but that's basically 6 projects in a year. That's insane to think about. And then Drake, there's still rumors that Views from the Six is coming out this year. Certainly, man, we're not going to see the last of Drake. He has his radio show. He puts out random singles every now and then. So it's crazy to think that after everything these two have done, they're not done yet. But yeah, once you listen to What a Time to Be Alive, man, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What'd you think of the project? Did it live up to, the standards you wanted? Is it good music? Is it bad music? What was your favorite beat? Let me know whatever you're thinking in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching, man. Thank you for your time. Till next time, what a time to be alive.